We sold them for charity.
Oh, sick.
It says breathe.
Yeah.
And it's
Dude,
got
good job.
these little badasses in
Yeah, they're
science.
Totally.
Okay, we are recording, gentlemen.
Cool.
Okay.
We just need Billy. Where's Billy? I'm texting him as we speak.
Yeah, we also have to have Mike. Was Mike on the distribution list?
I'm texting him.
Okay.
I just texted Bill.
I just replied to Chris's original email with the Zoom link.
Bill responded, I'm trying. So he must have the link if he's trying.
You want to try Mike as well? Oh, Chris is.
I just did.
Okay.
Hey, Chris, I don't want to mess with your setup, but what are the chances you can move that puppy sideways if we're recording it? It might be nicer.
Am I at an angle?
You're vertical.
Yeah.
But I don't think it makes a huge difference. Just
there you go.
Is that better?
Yeah, now you're the full screen instead of just a slice.
And am I the only one that sees the irony of Alex dropping his phone while he's telling Chris what to do?
That's amazing, dude. Alex, thank you so much, bro.
Do as I say, not as I do. That's what my dad always told me. So
Sounds like a father to me.
Dude, this is rad. I'm stoked now. I'm really happy.
I just want to point out now that your landscape view, I do see two breasts over your right ear.
Yeah, true. Mannequin, looks like a mannequin.
Your other right ear.
So if we seemed very distracted every time you talk, that's why,
Okay. The breast is handled.
Yeah, fuck. Anybody else? Anything? Anybody else?
Yeah, totally. Dude, nobody mentioned the baby seat in Alex's back seat.
Yeah, there's a fucking baby back there, Shut up, baby.
Oh my God, that's good.
So
okay, Bill's joined. And again, I'm just reminding everybody, we are recording.
All right.
Good point. So yeah, guard your.
Oh, there's handsome Bill.
Finally made it back. So
I'm super happy about that too. You look great today, buddy.
took a shower. So,
Good job.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm sure that Mike will jump on as soon as he can. Let's go ahead and start this thing. Welcome everybody, man. Thank you for your time and thank you for your patience through our audio issues this morning. And why doesn't everybody introduce yourself? And so we know, I'm Chris Winn.
I'm Aaron Della Vadova.
I'm Bill Canales.
Hey, I'm Alex Eubank.
And I'm Fred Jones, the fork-tongued attorney and lobbyist.
Well, fantastic. Let's just start off by asking, Aaron, why don't you let us know a little bit about what PACT is and what PACT does for us?
Well, sure. So, basically this all started during the first shutdowns, and I've been in contact with Bill and other colleagues in the industry. And, at first, at least for me and Bill, we were very happy to abide by the restrictions. We felt it could be necessary. And I closed my shops down 100% for 3.5 months. I know that Bill did as well. You know, we did slowly learn over that period of time that many other shops did not. That was slightly frustrating, but at the same time, everyone's got to make that call. I wasn't willing to go operate illegally and risk any problems. Plus, I did believe that maybe we should all play by the rules, and we did. But then when the reopenings started to happen, there was, in our opinion, many businesses that were being reopened before us, businesses that were, in our opinion, a much higher risk of spreading coronavirus than the tattoo industry was. And this prompted me to kind of go online, and I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I sort of assumed that we had somebody on our behalf, a group, an organization out there that was representing the tattoo industry, maybe on a national level or on a state level. And I quickly realized after a little bit of Googling that we didn't. And I was a little shocked by that. And then I started thinking, well, what do the hair and cosmetology and barbers have one? And that's what led me to, I went to a few different websites that claim their advocacy for cosmetology and barbering. But the one that really caught my attention was Fred's site. And that prompted me to shoot him an email and say, hey man, you know, listen, we don't have anyone doing what I think you do for those guys. We don't have anyone doing that for us. Maybe you could do it for us, or maybe you could at least tell me who to talk to. Fred called me that day and we had a nice long conversation. I expressed to him, look, I don't feel like we're getting fair treatment on the reopenings. Like, why are they letting, I forget what opened before us. It was like bars, I think, were even open and we were still shut down. And that seemed really shocking to me. It was upsetting to me. And Fred simply said, look, you don't have anyone at the table. I mean, I'm at these meetings in Sacramento. I'm there representing cosmetology and barbering, and there's nobody there mentioning tattooing to any of these political leaders. And how it works at that level is if you don't have someone talking on your behalf, they're not gonna do anything for you. That's just how this works. And I was like, holy moly, that's not good, because I was like, these close downs are probably gonna happen again. And yeah, they eventually reopened us, and I was like, yeah, but they're gonna do it again. And so I decided, well, not I, we were already, Mike, Bill, me, Alex, were already talking about, we were sending letters to congressmen and different public officials. And then it was me who kind of threw in there, like, look, why don't we form one of these organizations, like an advocacy group that's got lobbyists, lawyers, a PR team, like the cosmetology industry has. Why don't we create one of those? And everybody was like, yeah, duh, let's do it. And then, we came up with the name. Bill got us a killer logo, and we kicked it off with a GoFundMe campaign. And this might be a good idea to clarify, because I question that I get a lot. So the GoFundMe campaign is money being raised to start the organization. Okay, we've got bank accounts, we've got applications to fill out. Alex is building websites. These are just a few things that got to be done. And all these things take money. So the GoFundMe was to raise money to build this thing. Now, PACT, once it's built, is set up to get member dues, okay? And we haven't established this 100%, but it's not much. I mean, we're thinking like a tattoo artist pays $100 a year, a tattoo shop would pay $200 a year. And I don't know the exact numbers on this, but if you go statewide and we got most of the people to become members, we should be able to create a monthly revenue stream that would pay Fred and his team to continue to represent us moving into the future, to protect us, to let us know, hey man, I'm up here right now, and they're trying to create a piece of legislation that could really damage tattooing. Oh, really? We didn't even know about that. Let's get involved. Someone looking out for us. So that is the sole purpose of PACT, and it's important to clarify. I had a lot of tattooers who are like, I don't want to be in a union, bro. I don't want to join some organization that's going to create new restrictions on the tattoo industry. And that is no. We're doing none of that. This is simply someone who's going to protect us and represent us, especially in concerns to this reopening issue, because here we are, locked down again, and we don't even know for how long. And when they start reopening, are we going to be last in line again? The last ones to open? And I have to highlight that there is no evidence even showing that coronavirus is spreading from professional tattoo studios. Zero. We can't find one case. So it just seems unfair and not right. And we're building this thing to go out and fight against that and get our rights protected.
Well, that's great, man. And I'm really happy to, when I heard about this, I was really happy to be a participant and to kind of spread the word. because I have constantly said that as tattoo artists, we generate revenue for the state. We generate such a service to the people of the state, and that we need to have this kind of voice to be able to keep doing what we're doing, because I think myself personally that we are an essential business. I have had multiple emails, and I'm sure you all have as well. Hey bro, man, I just lost somebody who to this thing, or I lost my grandfather and I need to get some closure. I need to get a memorial tattoo, or I may just need some therapy because the stress is so high. So people come to us. It's not just tattooing that they're coming to us for. They're coming to us for something that's a little bit more deep and a little bit more meaningful. And I agree, to have a voice in Sacramento that gives us the right to do what we need to do when we need to do it is of utmost essential. And to circle the wagons so that we're all on the same page. We are a huge revenue service and a huge part of what happens from day-to-day life in California business as well.
Agreed, 100% agree. You know, that's the whole point, and we have to have somebody up there speaking on our behalf. And really, it's just fair treatment is all we're really asking for here. And we're not up there trying to get some special. You know, a lot of people are like, "How come you think you should be open before everybody else?" And that's not true either. None of us are asking to be open before everybody else. But if they're going to have openings, it should be fair. They should look at it and go, well, who can be open that is safe and isn't going to be a huge problem with spreading this virus? Is it Disneyland? Or is it tattoo shops? Or is it bars and restaurants? I mean, I'm just asking, and Fred knows this, we want him to ask them, explain to us why businesses that are not expanding the spread of this disease are shut down. And again, I don't know, I don't want to speak for Fred because we are, you know, here on a live feed being recorded. I'll let him speak for himself, and maybe it is a good time to pass it over because I would
I was just going to do that. Fred, let me ask you a question right now. What can be done and what needs to be done in your capacity to get our voice heard, and how does it benefit us, please?
Yeah, so there's no silver bullet to this COVID shutdown. I wish I had the secret sauce that I could share with you, but I can assure you and all the tattoo artists in the state that after 4.5 months of lockdown, to a virus that when we first all heard about it, we knew nothing about, including our medical experts. We've learned a lot since. And 4.5 months of lockdown with an indefinite amount of prolonged lockdown will be devastating to our businesses and to our economy. We need to express, and what I was going to say is, it's more than just science now that our governor is considering as he considers what industries to open under what limitations and various stepped up protocols. If we aren't breaking through his consciousness, we will be the proverbial tree that falls in the forest with no one around to hear it, and therefore it doesn't make a noise. So unfortunately, that's how politics works. And make no mistake, the COVID shutdowns are more than just science and medical. There are economic and political considerations happening in real time in Sacramento. On behalf of my barbering and beauty industry clients, we asserted our political power, and it made a difference. We actually were able to get our hair salons open back on May 26. Now, since the fairly hysterical media coverage of increasing positive cases have blanketed the airwaves, the governor's responding to that. And he resumed a lockdown in 85% of our barber shops and hair salons. So we're back in lockdown now as well. So we have to organize, unify. We have to be able to understand what our talking points are. We have to communicate not only to each other, but to our local media outlets. Because nothing, no politician wants bad media coverage. We want to befriend those who buy ink by the barrel. That's how we break through the palace guard. That's how we make noise effectively. So PACT is designed to organize and concentrate that power, which you guys have as an industry, but no one has ever funneled it, concentrated, and directed it. That's the point of this kickoff.
Let me talk to you about this. I also want to bring up, aside from the immediate issues that we're having of closures and the coronavirus and all the political stuff that's going on, we have a bill. We had a bill that was passed, AP5, I believe it is, that takes the 1099 out of the shops. So it makes the shop owners essentially employers, and who have to give you paid time off, health benefits, retirement benefits, all the things that will actually destroy what is going on in our individual cases, because whether or not the money coming in is enough, I don't believe it's enough to pay the Social Security taxes, and those are more so on an individual basis. And as a 1099 employee, which we have all been for many, many years, to have that continued, we also need this voice for that AP5 in Sacramento, because of the fact that we aren't part of the Lyft drivers. We're not part of the Uber drivers that are starting this. And it affects hair, beauty. My brother-in-law runs mud makeup schools. It's shutting that stuff down. They're devastated at this point, man, still remaining to do business. There are many tattoo shops that are devastated to the point where they're closing. Some people don't see that as a bad thing, but what's happening is they are taking away the right for us to actually be able to make a living for our family. And this is why we need to circle the wagons, join the PACT, and we all and move forward. We all know that there has been other CAPSPA and this, that, and the other thing, different organization, APT, all this stuff. But until everybody gets the information that we need and everybody comes into unity, what's the outcome? The outcome is we're all just going to be out there hanging out on a thread, and we will probably get shut underground. People will lose thousands of millions of dollars. People won't be able to find tattoo artists. It's just a bad way all around.
Yeah, and maybe before we introduce the other artists that are on the call, let me just respond to two things, Chris, that you just mentioned. The first, Assembly Bill 5 by Lorena Gonzalez from San Diego. That was an effort to codify an April 2018 unanimous California Supreme Court decision called Dynamex. That Dynamex decision essentially outlaws 95% of the legal independent contractor relationships. It certainly did for my barbering and cosmetology industry. We call it in our industry booth rental. It would have wiped out at least 95% of the legal forms of booth rental. And so what did we do? Our industry unified. We lit up the phones of the 120 legislators in Sacramento. And I was able, because of that, to get several high-level meetings with legislators who then reached out to Lorena Gonzalez, who then reached out to me. and said, we're going to give the beauty and barbering industry an exception to the Dynamex ruling that we're about to codify in Assembly Bill 5. Will you help us write those standards? And so I did. If tattoo artists had PACT and had a presence in Sacramento and had the type of unity we're talking about, that you could mobilize the foot soldiers to light up the phones and for us to provide you all the talking points, which include, you guys all have formal training in bloodborne pathogens, in contamination, in disinfection protocols. You all do one-on-one services, sometimes one client for an entire day. It's not like you've got lots of people moving through. We could show your parlors and show all of the stepped up protocols that you've done. That's what it means. We organize, we direct, we provide talking points, and then we let our foot soldiers go to work. And that's how you get things done in Sacramento. Look, Sacramento will either do things to us or for us. My beauty industry clients decided it was time for them to start doing things for us. Tattoo artists need to do the same.
Yeah, and let's go to Bill. Bill, as the owner of a very successful tattoo parlor and the head of the organization, basically putting on the San Diego Invitational tattoo show, which, kudos, is just an amazing show. It's top of the line all the way. Everything is health board regulated. Everything is the advertisement. All the ducks are in a row, exactly how it's supposed to be done. How has this affected you in throwing this amazing show that you've been throwing, and your studio?
Well, thanks, Chris. Thanks for nice words. Well, obviously, the show, we were trying to put on this year, it couldn't happen only because of course, because COVID. So that was a huge, huge loss financially, and of course, personally. And it was, it was devastating because you tried to start this thing here in San Diego where, we could highlight, especially the artists here in San Diego that are numerous, amazing artists here now, and I think San Diego, it deserves a showcase as an invitational, to bring everybody together. And we did that for a bit, and I don't know if it's going to happen again. I mean, I want it to happen again, but in this case, I almost think that all, conventions, it could be over for a long time. And, and if it's over, I can't start it again. It's, it's too much. It's because who knows if this may come back or if something else comes back eventually, but it's not worth the risk anymore.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I think that convention maybe one more year, but I mean, I got to see. And as far as the shop goes, I mean, I'm trying to take care of my artists that are at the shop. They depend on me to stay open or stay closed or, just do the right thing. And, I wanted to stay open. I really did, but I know that I had to do my part as far as, okay, we have to close as well, only because it is the safest thing to do, and I kind of feel that I don't want to have to go underground. I don't want to have to lie to my friends saying that we are this or that when, we're truly not. So it was extremely hard choice to make. And I think it was the right one, but everybody has their own thing they have to do. And, if it all has to go underground, then, what's that going to cause then? It's safer in your shop. It's safer in a place that you follow certain mandates and protocols. If
Right.
you have to go to somewhere else, your own home or who knows where. But, you know, that's only going to increase. Who knows what's going to increase, you know, but.
Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the health department bills keep coming. We're having to still keep up our bloodborne pathogen, surface pathogen licenses. We still have to keep up our California state licenses, our county licenses, and things of that nature. So they still want our revenue.
Mhm.
They still want our tax dollars. And I don't know whether this is the case, but I believe that it's kind of one of those things where they're looking at us like it was in the 40s and 50s and the 60s, that we're all just pirates. At this point in time, tattooing is a multifaceted business. We have been in the Natural History Museum of Los Angeles, in the museum in Oceanside. We've been touring museums throughout the country. Tattooing is not just a thing that some people do. It is affecting fine art. I know you guys are fine artists as well, in oils and acrylics and watercolors and all that stuff. So is it in fact infringing on your capabilities to be an artist, no matter what your canvas is, whether it's skin or whether it's paper, canvas, a wall, a car, any of that stuff? This is a direct infringement on your First Amendment's rights of free speech and of the being able to prosper through your arts, and anybody can take this and run with it.
You know, can I jump in on this real quick? Because,
Sure, go ahead.
Chris, I totally hear you. And when this first lockdown happened, my quick assumption was, oh, look at this. You know, the establishment is going to look at us like we're the, you know, those dirty tattooers. And boy, we really got to lock them down because they're, you know, how those, you know, really like lessening our.
You know how those guys are.
Right. And I really, it just was an intuitive reaction because I've been in the industry for 25 years and I was, you know, back in the day, we were viewed that way. And I fought tooth and nail to gain the respect we have in our current culture. And I know Bill has too, and so many others. And
Sean Anderson and everybody across the board, across the United States.
And we did it, and we created this extremely safe, extremely professional environment where we're providing this incredible service that touches people's lives. But as I looked into this and talked to Fred about this, what Fred told me was pretty enlightening, which was, hey man, they're not even looking at you that way. You think this is a personal grudge? It isn't. They don't even consider you. It's like we think they actually think about us. They're not even thinking about us. You know, I don't think there's anyone up there at the top of the chain who's like, yeah, man, let's keep those tattooers locked down because, you know, they're kind of scummy, or that's an industry that California doesn't need. They're not even regarding us, period. The decisions that are trickling down from Sacramento have simply to do with lack of representation. And now there might be political reasons or whatever's happening up there that they want to lock down the economics of California, and they have to open certain things because certain businesses have humongous budgets, humongous lobbying groups that put a massive amount of pressure on these politicians, and they have to bend to some of that. But there's nothing coming from tattooing, and probably not quite enough coming from cosmetology and barbering. But that's kind of how I understand why we're getting this treatment. It really has nothing to do with them judging us or thinking we're not worthy or any of that. And Fred, I'll let you take it from there, but it's important to make that clarification, I think, so that the tattooers can get that chip off their shoulder. They're not doing that. It's beyond that. It's the political realm, and it's not personal for them. Fred, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I think that's largely right, that you're just not on their radar screen. At least the top folks, the governor, state folks, the folks that are really driving this COVID response in California. I will say at the county level, because you all are permitted through the county health departments, they are aware of this industry. But the problem with the county folks, they're headed up by medical professionals. And if you ask a medical professional, how do we deal with COVID? What's their response? We shut everything down, because that's their tunnel vision. How do we deal with COVID? Well, let's shut everyone down, put everyone in their home, and eventually hope it all goes away. They don't have a broader perspective about our economy, about, frankly, mental health and well-being, about our needs of our clients.
They're also not practicing doctors. They're bureaucrats. You know, let's be honest. Some of them have been, you know, in an office at the county for 20 plus years. They haven't even seen a patient, you know, in that time. So, you know, it's a little bit, yeah, like what you're saying, the way they see us locally, yeah, maybe the health department understands us, but the bureaucrats don't. The doctors that are higher up, they don't. And definitely in Sacramento, they don't have the slightest idea of what we do, you know, and the protocols that we follow, which is funny because, you know, they take our tax money, they take our permit money, they make us get bloodborne pathogens. You know, they went as far as to pass body art laws that pertain to us, you know, but they never actually went any further than that. They said, okay, we put laws on them, that's fine, let's just leave it at that. But I mean, there is a chip on a lot of people's shoulder because it feels like we're not legitimate to them.
Well, let me,
you know, like
yeah, let me jump in right there, man. That is a good point, Mike. And I can appreciate that, because of the fact that I think a lot of tattoo artists across the board feel like they're not heard. Well,
yeah,
that is why we are here right now, so that we can be heard. And Fred, tell us a little bit about how that happens and how this organization will push us towards this, because I really believe in that.
Well, again, Aaron and Bill and other principals that are starting this organization, you know, can answer that. But just from my 28 years of experience lobbying in Sacramento, first of all, let me make an observation to Mike's point. Every person that he just listed has not seen one paycheck interrupted.
Yeah.
Think about that.
True that.
Not a single legislator, not a single county supervisor, nobody that works for the county has seen a single paycheck interrupted. That right there distinguishes our businesses, our livelihoods, our families' bread and butter from what Mike refers to as the bureaucracy. So that's one point we have to make. This is having a real impact on real people, real families. And they don't get it because they haven't gone hungry. They haven't got rent payments they can't make. They can't put food on the table. So the purpose of an organization like this is to marshal all of these talking points and to be able to start helping each of our tattoo artists up and down this incredibly diverse and large state to start having the confidence of knowing what to do. And what are they supposed to do? They're supposed to start building relationships of trust with these bureaucrats, with their locally elected officials, both at the city, county level, the municipal level, but also at the state level, so that collectively we can have an impact statewide. That's what an organization's all about. It's not rocket science, but it does require us to be unified around a common banner and around a common mission, and with clear talking points so that we're all singing from the same hymnal.
So let me get back to Aaron for a second. Thank you, Fred. Your wisdom is so needed, and thank you for doing this. But Aaron, let me ask you this: how do you see this working out? I mean, I have my own ideas, and but I'm really new in your fight to get this thing to Sacramento. How do you see, if all the tattoo artists want to come together, and obviously we have huge counties. We have LA County, Orange County, San Diego County, San Bernardino County, You know, we have the Kern County, San Francisco. You know what I mean? All these people at Sacramento. We need a voice from all these people. How is this PACT going to be set up and organized so that all the voices are heard from those areas, so they just don't feel like they're just paying into something that is out of their reach?
Yeah, well, let me first clarify right out of the gates. PACT is a non-profit organization, okay? Nobody here, I haven't received a dime from it. I probably never will. Obviously, if board members are elected and they're working 40 hours a week for this organization someday, there will be, you know, they get their paychecks to run this thing. But as it stands right now, no one's pulling a dime out of this thing. This isn't, but the first thing is this, the call to action right now is we've got to raise the money to build this thing, and we've got to get members to become a part of it. Now, back to your point, Chris, how it would work, and we're still forming some of this, but basically the way we see it, we want to get a handful of tattoo artists to represent each district. So you take Los Angeles, for instance. We'd have 3 or 4 interested, active tattooers up there that see our cause, that are for our cause. Those people will become board members. And then whenever we have votes, you're going to get the guys from LA will be involved, the guys from Fresno. You know, each district will have members that'll vote for all the things that PACT does or does not do. So everyone's going to have a voice in that regard for each of their regions. And that's just, you know, it's really not that complicated. You know, we just need to get people to become members so we can get the revenue stream going. So I can start paying Fred's organization to start representing us. And then we have, you know, quarterly, monthly meetings where all those members are involved. We bring up issues that we put forward measures like maybe we want to do this, maybe we want to do that. Everybody gets a vote, and it's a democratic system. We do whatever the majority wants to do. Moving ahead.
And let me just say this. This isn't a union. This isn't, it isn't something where, and I've been a member of a union before, and I have felt that the voice, I never got really heard in that union. But the fact is that this is an organization, and this is a, what's the word I'm looking for?
Volunteer?
Yeah, it's a volunteer organization that will basically give us a voice in Sacramento. Nobody is trying to take things away from us, trying to implement protocol. All that's already been done. It's already been done by the state. When CAPSPA came around, first thing, and we tried to get the bloodborne pathogen state license regulation stuff so that everybody had a guideline. It was a guideline. It was a guideline on what to do. It was a guideline for the health department to be able to regulate the safety of our consumers. And it worked out. Yeah, we have to pay some monthly dues. We have to pay for our license. We have to pay for this. We have to pay for that. Look, there's always a cost of doing business. There's always a cost of doing business, whether you're buying needles or you're buying your bloodborne pathogen. I feel at this point that this is a legitimate thing to support and push forward, or I wouldn't be here. And if we all want to get on the same page and have our voice heard, which, you know what, I don't know who you are or what you do or how you look at it, but you have an opinion, you have an idea. This will give your representatives in your district. You can go to them, give them your idea. Your idea can be brought to the table, straight to PACT. PACT can go straight to Sacramento and get this stuff done. Without this, you're sitting in your backyard, you're sucking down beers, and you're talking shit because there's nothing to stand behind you. And at this point, circling the wagons is a huge undertaking, and it needs to be done. We are a force to be reckoned with, and the longer we sit back and do absolutely nothing, the more they're going to as Fred said before, they're not even thinking about us
Let me
at the state level.
illustrate a picture too. Let's just say we gather, I don't know how many tattoo artists there are in California, and I need to get that research done, but I'm going to throw a number out. Say we get 20,000 members. I think that's extremely reasonable. I actually think we could possibly get 100,000.
I agree.
Okay, let's just call it 20,000. And Sacramento starts trying to enforce AB 5. And we're not down with that. I could, on our website, throw out to all 20,000 members, everybody needs to post today to not vote for this politician, because this politician is pushing an agenda that's harming our industry. And I guarantee you, when 20,000 Instagram posts go up in an hour, they're going to go, whoa, what can we do for you? How can we help you? We can adjust this. That's how you get it done. And we need a group that can send that message out and have that happen very quickly. I see Fred shaking his head, right? Am I right about that?
Well, yeah, if you know, doing online petitions and bitching about it individually doesn't solve the problem. But if you focus everyone with the same message and they bombard their emails, bombard their phone banks, so they're getting like 100, 1,000 calls over one issue, then they're going to be like, okay, and then they might see us. And then they're going to probably want to talk to us, especially if it's not just like, hey, I'm Joe Schmo and I don't like this. It's like, hey, I'm so-and-so and I have the backing of PACT, which is made up of 20,000 other artists. And, you know, we're going to oppose this. You know, that gives it a lot of weight, as opposed to, because we're all, you know, there's all sorts of sayings like, you know, you can break one chopstick, but if you put a bunch of them together, it's like unbreakable. Like, you know, there's all sorts of stuff. Like, we're all out there. We just need to get together and send the same message.
And I think also, you know, we're in a unique position that as tattooers, as such like a valued resource in our society, for one, we've got a huge reach. We have much more of a reach on Instagram and Facebook than most other kind of industries in our category. And, you know, our fans and followers are really loyal. I mean, we all know how tight the bonds can be between artist and, you know, and client. So I feel like, you know, our clients and our community, our tattoo community as a whole, would really kind of get together and support us for whatever cause we kind of decide to move forward on.
And if you look at the that alone, and you start and you look at what the industry did for Chris Stewart and his family, and the multiple other tattooers that were struggling through hardship, you know, nobody cares more about tattooers than tattooers and their clients. And when you're walking around the street, everybody's got a tattoo. So that means that everybody's got a tattoo and a tattooer that they go to. They're going to follow them on Instagram. They're going to follow them on Facebook, Twitter, whatever the case may be. The more voice that we have through our clients, through our shops, because, I mean, like, dude, Aaron, how many guys do you have working for you? Bill, same. How many guys?
I've currently got about 16 tattooers and probably 8 staff.
Bill?
We got 8 tattooers and 2 staff. But you know,
I know at our shop, I know at our shop we have 8 tattooers. Studio City has 10 tattooers. Right there, man. We're talking that's 4 shops, and we just nailed 40 people.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, and everybody has friends. Everybody knows those friends support us. I know Bill, I know Aaron, dude. There's a huge, you know, there's a huge draw. If they see the right people getting involved, this thing will go amazingly well.
And if I could,
go ahead.
just a brief civics lesson. So in California, we all know we have a governor. He's micromanaging our entire economy, but we have The first branch of government is our legislative branch. We have 2 houses. There are 80 assembly members and there are 40 state senators. Each of those state senators represent over 900,000 constituents. This is a huge state. So get, 5, 10 phone calls in a day is going to be meaningless. I used to serve as a chief of staff to one of those state legislators, and I would tell our receptionist, until I get phone calls of at least 25 people on the same issue, I don't want to waste my time with it, and I certainly don't want to waste the legislators' time. So being able to organize even 5,000 tattoo artists, there's only 120 legislators. You start doing the math. We could easily light up the phone calls of 120 legislators, break through that 25, 50 calls in one day.
Yes.
And this is part of the purpose of a dues-paying organization, as opposed to a union where you have to pay dues as a condition of working, agency shop. This is purely voluntary. So people who put in their own skin into this game are the very people we need, because those are the type of people that will go beyond simply signing online petitions or whining in social media. We actually need foot soldiers who will rally when we have a battle cry. And if we get 100 phone calls to 120 legislators in a 2-hour period about a bill that's going to continue to impact our shops, that will have true impact.
And that's what we need through this whole thing, is we need some impact. And through PACT, let's just say that it's $100 a year, $200 a year. I don't know what those numbers are, but I can probably guarantee you that every tattooer a month spends at least $100 on a dinner with his loved ones.
Or just on your own,
Or yeah, totally. So we're not asking for an absorbent amount of money to give you a voice. And that's what PACT is. PACT is a voice. Dude, we need to get rid of this AP5. We need to get back to work. We need to do all this stuff. It's right now that we need to make the noise that we need to make. Because, as Fred said, they're not even thinking about us, bro. Why? Because our mayor's thinking about us. Now, let me just say this about our mayor. Our mayor's crying to our governor, and our governor is crying to our president, because they're at the end of their ropes as well. And if you're paying attention to anything that's going on other than the conspiracy theories that are going on that will absolutely do nothing for you, and get your meat, get your meat. Dude, a meal consists of meat, a starch, and a vegetable. Let's get the meat on the plate. Your baked potatoes coming. And those veggies you love so much, man, they're going to be right there when we're up there and we're talking about what we need to do and what needs to happen.
It's almost lunchtime, huh?
Yeah, it must be lunchtime because I'm thinking about a steak. Woo!
All right. I'm like, shit, I want to have a barbecue.
Yeah. And this is the thing, is that through what we do, all of us have fairly good sized shops. We can social distance. We can stagger appointments. We can stagger staff. We can do all the things that we did. Dude, I went and had my nails done, and they closed down my nail people, who are amazing, amazing people, amazing people. It's a husband and wife. They run it by themselves. They're amazing. Dude, there was a shield in front of me. There was one technician working on me. Dude, I literally felt like the boy in the bubble, and yet they're closing these guys down because of the fact that they're not doing what they were asked to do. No, they are doing exactly what they were asked to do. Aaron and Bill, you guys hit the nail right on the head. You guys felt it was your civic duty to do what they were asking and close your shops. Now, with that being said, you have done your civic duty and done everything that you can to keep your area safe and do the right thing. I think it's time to push back a little bit and say, well, I showed up with my tennis racket and tennis ball. Where's yours?
And before Aaron and Bill close this out, let me just say, people want to know what they can do right now because we're all in shutdown. The first thing you need to do is enlist in the PACT Army. Let us begin fighting together for you. The second thing you ought to consider doing, go over the heads of the politicians. Contact your local media. Invite them to come look at your shops. Explain to them the level of education and training you have in protecting your clientele. A lot of those pretty reporters, they've got tats, but you need to remind them. They need footage.
Yeah.
Gosh, I would love every one of the San Diego television affiliates to be in Bill's shop. And look how clean that place is. It ain't the 50s. This ain't the Pirates or the Navy. We need to educate the media so that they can start running stories about us. Again, we're the proverbial tree that's fallen in the forest.
Well, you know, it was crazy, man. When we opened back up, I don't know how this happened, but there was a news van right in front of 10,000 Waves. They came in and talked to JoJo, saw how big our place was, saw how clean it was. They ran us on the 4, the 6, and the 11 o'clock news that day. I got phone calls from everybody. If you want to be heard, you need to put your money where your mouth is. And this is the organization that is happening right now, whether there was one in the past that failed you or one that you just didn't want to be a part of. This is PACT for California tattooers. We're not talking about Nevada tattooers. We're not talking about Arizona tattooers, even though if this thing goes here, it could go nationwide, and that will give our industry the same power as the television and movie industry, as the hair and makeup industry, all these things. This by all means affects everybody, down to the high school student who couldn't wait since she was 14 to get that little butterfly on her wrist for her grandmother that died. So we're not just fighting for us, we're fighting for them. Because if we do get pushed underground because of lack of legislation and lack of having a voice, those people will have a much harder time. And who wants to break the law? You know what I mean? Like, the laws are in place for a reason. We're abiding by the laws. We shut down our shop. You guys shut down your shop. All the other shops that I know that are around here with really, really super legitimate guys in it, they're doing what they have to do. They shut down their shops. You know, but we also have to remember that we are one of the safest. I don't know how many times that a doctor or a nurse has came in and saw our setups and said, wow, aren't you guys kind of overkilling this shit a little bit? No, we're not overkilling it, because we are literally medical professionals. We work in skin. That's what we do. We work in blood. We are trained for bloodborne pathogens, surface pathogens, all that stuff. So with that being said, PACT is definitely something that I stand behind, and I'm extremely proud of being part of it. And I'm gonna use my voice to get it out wherever I can and however I can. So.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. I know I speak for everybody when I say that. I really appreciate those words and your support. And I'll close out right now, then I'll pass it over to everybody else. But I mean, everything we need to say has been said. The maybe a little more on just the straight tactical side of things. So everybody who watches this knows we will be launching our website. Alex, you can chime in a second. I think we're within days. That website will contain a very, very clear vision and mission statement. It tells exactly how and what we're going to be doing. One of the reasons we haven't gone super big with our voice about PACT yet is we've been waiting for the website so we have somewhere to send people where they can review the information and be informed. That's happening within days. So as soon as that is live and going, you're going to see my social media platforms, all my media platforms. I know Bill, and me and Bill and others are in contact with tons of other big name tattooers in California. We're going to be calling them up and going, hey, it's time to start posting. It's time to start creating some interest in PACT. And then, of course, we're hoping to start really seeing some revenue stream come in and move this issue forward in a real and significant way. So that's where we currently are.
Let me ask you a question, Aaron. Is there an Instagram or a Facebook page that people can go to right now?
Yes, there's an Instagram page for PACT. Alex, it's
PACT Official.
Yeah. No underscores, just PACT official.
Just start typing it out. You'll find it.
Cool. So, and Alex, thank you for everything that you've done. I appreciate that. So basically what's going on, and we'll close this out. Go to PACT, make your voice known that you wish to support. And we're not talking about any kind of dues right now. There's a GoFundMe. I'm sure the link is on PACT. So donate what you can. Let's just get this ball rolling. And, you know, if you take a little bitty snowball and you roll it down the hill, man, by the time it gets to the bottom of the hill, it's going to be an extremely big force to reckon with. So let's get this started, everybody. Let's just do what we can as of now. $10, $5, $2, whatever you got. Please just support this. This is here for you. It's not here for us. We're all taking our time, which is valuable, to do something for everybody. And that's really what this is all about, man. I want to thank Bill. I want to thank Aaron, Mike, Alex, Fred. Thank you for putting this thing into motion. And let's just wrap up. Everybody, you can just give your little, obviously Aaron's already gone. Bill, can we hear from you, please?
Yeah, all I have to say is please help us help you. Join PACT, and you don't know how far that's going to go. So right now is the time, especially. So if you can, you know, it's like Chris said, anything helps. $2, $10, you know, just whatever you have. Just, you know, this is the way it starts. So let's see how far we can get with this. So
thanks, Bill. Mike.
So, I mean, just realize we're a big community, almost like a giant family. I think a lot of artists know other artists, and there's a lot of lineage. And the thing is, you know, something like this is some of the old timers I've known, they've been talking about it, but it just never came together. But I think just the time wasn't right. I think now's the time. You know, we have the old generation and the newer generation all on the same page for this type of stuff. And I think we can come together, you know, and make a big difference. We just got to come together a little bit, you know, and it'll grow naturally.
Yeah,
that's what it's
for sure. For sure. Thanks, Mike. Fred?
I've said everything I should or need to, and probably then some. So I think you guys have the right vision. You're going to focus on issues of transcendent importance to all tattoo artists. You're not going to pit one group against another. This is about unity. This is about strength. This is about influence.
Alex? Thanks, Fred. Alex still there? Maybe not. Anyways, I have to thank all of you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for bringing me into this and getting me involved. I think it's great. PACT. It's for us. It's by us. It's not, you know what I mean? We're buying supplies from corporations. We're buying, this is for us. It's by us. We can rule it. We can govern it. We can have the voice that we need. It's silly not to. If it costs you $20, it costs you $10 just to see where it goes. It costs you $10. I know you've dropped $10 out of your pocket. So drop it into a PACT. Let's see what we can get done. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your blessing. PACT thanks you. We're looking forward to doing great things in the future, man. And thank you, everybody. Dude, You guys are awesome. I'm sorry that Turk couldn't be here at this point, man. Blessings to him, whatever he's got going on. But thank you guys for what you did and showing up today. And we will talk more about PACT soon.
All right. Thanks.
All right, man. Peace and love, everybody, man. Be kind to everybody. Be kind to others, man. You know what to do. That's where it starts. Talk to you guys soon.
All right.
Bye.